Mr. Zimmer, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
Obviously, there's a litany here of complaints and counter complaints, and this obviously is a personal issue more than it is an equipment issue, if I understand it. I don't think we have an equipment problem. I think we have a human problem. I think we have a people problem, from what I read here. I was of the opinion this personal issue was resolved with the supervisor at a meeting because we thought it was put to sleep. Obviously, something had transpired since that meeting, which makes it surface again. We have a Citizen Cable TV Committee. At least we had one, I think it's still in existence. You seem to have made a response related to a difference between Glendora and a member of your staff, and you unilaterally, or at least it's accusing you of unilaterally sentencing punishment. She's been ostracized or been put on probation, whatever your phrase. Should this matter not be settled, since this is public access, by our committee if there is a dispute or a difference? Isn't that a more appropriate forum for deciding these issues rather than you as the manager to decide it? I'm asking a question, I don't know the answer.
Well, we have a responsibility to govern the facilities and the use of them and to exercise control of them and enforce the rules as they're set out. A disruptive situation occurred which led to this suspension.
We don't know what caused it. Excuse me, you're perfect, but we don't know the cause. Normally there's due process here, and I'm wondering if we have to. We don't know who the right or wrong party was. You just presumed, and maybe you were right, maybe you're wrong, that the wrong party was Glendora. Is there another forum that this issue could have been referred to be responded to more responsibly? I mean, this is public access we're talking about.
Right. You're right in one part in that it's a human problem more than an equipment problem. With a spirit of cooperation, this should not be before the town board.
That's right.
It's terrible.
That's why I want to get away from the town board, because we're not here to discuss the personal rights or wrongs of something which took place months ago, and I don't think we'll ever resolve it. There'll be these three sides of the story.
It was only after investigating with witnesses which are not connected with the company that I believe that the complaint was valid. In answer to your question, is there an appropriate forum or governing body? Not that I know. The Cable Commission certainly gets involved, and Glendora has filed a complaint with the Cable Commission, which is the state body which regulates cable television.
No, I mean our community. I'm asking a question. I'm trying to get us out of this posture. Neither should you be in it, because quite frankly, you are management. You're the company. I mean, with all due respect, you are the company. Can our cable committee, is it the role of our cable committee, Mr. Schreier and Mr. Castiglia, to serve in these kinds of differences, or can they be asked to serve in this capacity? This should have been resolved by some other agency other than the town board or by Mr. Zimmer. And that's why we have a cable committee.
I don't think the cable committee should resolve it. I think they should resolve it among themselves. And for what I see, it's really simple. He doesn't want her on cable, and it's simple as that. That's the impression I get, that you don't want her on cable. Even though it's a public access cable, you do not want her on cable. So therefore, you can create all the atmosphere you want.
No, she was on tonight. She's been on it for years.
That's my opinion.
There's never been a problem with that one show.
But I think there is a problem. Here is CBSI cable casting my show every week and not contributing anything to the production of that show. That is wrong. And if you go to page 45, you will see how I go over the contract with the town of the cable company and the town. And I tell you how my rights as a resident American are being denied. So that's very carefully written out. It starts on page 44. Cable television franchise agreement, and goes to page 45. It continues, and it ends on page 46. So I'd like to know that.
Mr. Zimmer, the complaints are that when she goes there, she's kept waiting, and that there's apparently rudeness involved, and that the equipment you use is not ready or not working. Is this all true?
I can't. I think nerves are frayed on both sides after a long period. So, is there some animosity there? I'd be foolish to think that there's not animosity on both sides, but I'm not there to see it. As to the equipment being ready, again, it has to be modified in order to be set up for the use that Glendora wants to make.
That's a 3-minute job.
Yeah, but if you know she's coming in at a certain hour, can't you modify your equipment so that you can help her?
We've done that, but from my point of view,
Seems like you guys are being uncooperative.
no, we've been very cooperative.
I don't
We've
think
been
so.
cooperative for years. The problem is, if it's not there, if they're busy and they don't have it ready when she arrives, then she becomes very angry, and instead of appreciating that accommodation that's being made for her equipment, then she becomes abusive. She gets very insulting to the employees.
Well, that's her
Frankly, no
nature,
one
so
wants to
Mr.
do that.
Zimmer, in
You have to
the
wait.
spirit of cooperation, would you be agreeable, I don't know the legalities, but do we still have a cable committee? Tina?
Are you addressing that to me? I'm wondering the exact same question. If you recall, several months ago, Mr.
Valencia.
Valencia, yes, I asked the town board to examine the makeup of that committee and to reappoint it. And you all nodded and said that was a neat idea, and that was at least 4 months ago. You know, there's a committee.
Let me
We don't
ask
have
a
a
question,
chairman.
Mr. Zimmer. If we have a committee and we reappoint it, would you be agreeable and agree this evening that this kind of issue, or this particular issue, and also you, Glendora, would you agree that we could bring this issue to the committee and let them research the facts and resolve it? Would you be agreeable to the decision of the committee? Because I don't think we're going to resolve it, nor should we.
I don't think that solution is.
Okay, I'm trying to find a way out of this.
Let me say, this is not the only time we've received
I want to pass
complaints.
the buck.
Yeah, we receive complaints about, Adams Russell and Cablevision. We would like to see you people be more cooperative in dealing with our people. I mean, this has been a problem that we have encountered continually. The rudeness, the abruptness, and what have you.
See, I think we're a different issue here. I think we're trying to resolve this particular issue.
I know, but it just goes towards how Cablevision has been acting in town of Harrison, and maybe they should mend their ways a little bit. They should start with Glendora, I think. I mean, she's been very valuable service to the public, and I think you should look at it as being that. You should overcome your personal animosity you may have against her.
Can I interject something as an independent party?
Identify yourself. Would you identify yourself, please?
Yeah. My name is William Gillette. I'm a resident of Harrison. I live in New York City. I'm not familiar with Mr. Zimmer. This is completely independent from what I've seen from all this. I've been an intern, an unpaid member of the production department for 5 years. Throughout my high school career, I'm currently in college. I'm studying this right now. What I don't understand is, Glendora just stated that she's not able to produce her program in Harrison, and that's not fair. She's having her show aired in Harrison, but she's not able to produce it. The reason she's not able to produce it, from what I understand here, is she has been banned or is not permitted to use the Harrison facilities because of this disruption. Now, this is the first time I've seen this paper here. And what I am not sure about is there are 3 production staff members who are covering the entire town of Portchester and Harrison. 6 public access shows at least, sports, all kinds of different programming, and plus 3 or 4 regular interns who come in from wherever, from their regular jobs to help with the production of this. And that makes for 3 very busy people. And
Well, maybe that they should increase their staff.
well, I'm not at issue to understand that. I'm just an intern. But what I'm saying is that I think Cablevision, I think especially the integrity of Mr. Wacksman, Matt Wacksman, is being really treated unfairly. I think whatever situation that had arisen before this, if they were busy, if there was a problem with the equipment, from my personal experiences with Anthony, Chuck, and Matt, and everyone in the production department, has been that they will do everything they can to help to reschedule that time. Now, I cannot have, in 4 years of knowing Matt Wacksman, and also as a personal friend, I've never heard him raise his voice to anyone, ever. And if he was upset over something, he was trying to fix it. And I've seen him deal with Glendora and her program, and on the 4 or 5 occasions that I've seen him do it, he has gone out of his way to help Glendora with the production of her program.
But you haven't seen him recently. You're referring to something last summer.
No, I see him. I see him every week. I saw him today. I worked with him on 3 productions.
Thank you. I don't know where we're going with this.
I just have something to say to him. If they have 3 people on the staff, I am really helping because I don't require any of those people on the staff once I get there. I do my own editing. I'm a help to them. All they gotta do is have the equipment set up, 5 minutes.
Okay, then, Glendora, what you want to do is you want to get back to being able to use Mike, is there anything we can do to make that arrangement?
I welcome her back using the facility. The only thing I ask is that she follow the rules.
The rules any different now than they were when she was there before? You have a problem with that?
I have no problem with that, and I don't see any room to be followed. I would like to see them follow the rules, keep their appointments, have the equipment available, have the equipment operable, and
Well, I thought we covered all of that.
I thought we
at
did
our
too,
last
but
meeting.
you didn't see Mr. Zimmer sign the letter and send it back to me.
Well, that
And
letter
resume on,
is the
on
form
March
of
the
a contract.
17th, St. Patrick's Day, you didn't see that happen. I have been 2 months without any editing, and I've been producing my program somewhere else. Sometimes I have to pay for it to be produced and edited.
And is it continuing to be aired on?
Oh, yes, and it's always a brand new program. We never have a rerun, never. And it's a very important program, folks. It's a program to help children stay away from dope and suicide by seeing all these successful executives, how they started, and they started out at the same level the kids did. They started at the very same level and they made it. In fact, the second in command at Procter & Gamble said, and he's the vice chairman of Procter & Gamble, and he said, look, kids, he says, if I did it, anybody can do it. That's what the kids have to hear.
Glendora, alternate 1, Mr. Zimmer, in the spirit of what Glendora just said, she serves a very vital public necessity. There's a little enough of this around, but you have more of it around, right? It's positive. You have no complaints about the show, I presume, right?
I've appeared on the show myself.
Great. In that spirit, alternate 1, Glendora, you read alternate 1 on your page 50. Is it not acceptable? You seem like to be a person who lives by the rules. Mr. Zimmer's made you an offer for 3 alternates. Take alternate 1 and run.
Well, are these offers mutually exclusive?
No, they work on both sides. And good.
No, I mean, if I take 1, I can't take 2 and 3?
Alternate 1 seems
To me, the letter was
accommodating.
ambiguous. I wasn't quite sure about that.
Alternate 1 says you'll be back just the way you were, working the way it was before the personal dispute.
So if I take 1, I can't have 3? Is that what it's saying?
Which says you may continue to request access time and supplies for the finished tape. You have a choice. I presume she can do that too if she wants?
Certainly.
Yes, you can take 1, 2, and 3 like a Chinese menu. Glendora, why don't we kiss and make up? Let's get this over with.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Zimmer? We go back to work tomorrow? Okay?
I don't think.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Item number 19. we're gonna change the meeting night so we can watch it.
Channel 45, Wednesday night. She says, this is a boy. He says, that's okay, that was my second choice.
You proved it, Joe.
Newspaper? Newspaper? Anybody from newspaper? Anybody else from newspaper? Okay. To the board, to the town board from Glendora. I appeared before this board 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago. And all I ask is to be allowed to have the cooperation of our cable company the way it used to be. I would like to do my editing as I used to do it, and I would like to do my editing every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m., commencing April the 21st, 1989, 4 to 6 p.m. this Friday, and for every Friday for a period of 1 year. And I ask the board to approve this.
Glendora, where would you do the editing?
At Purdy Street.
At Purdy Street Studio? Have you made requests to cable?
No. In that sense, I haven't. No, in this sense, I haven't.
Did you give Mr. Zimmer a copy of this letter?
No.
We're just receiving it now, and he's unaware that this paragraph is available to him.
Well, I've been asking for this for a long time.
This is the same issue, right? This is the issue that we've been laboring over for a long time.
Has he contacted you this last week or 10 days?
He called me on Wednesday or Thursday, and he said we'll have to have a meeting. And I said that we've had one meeting and nothing came from it, and we've had 2 meetings and nothing came from it, and a 3rd meeting, nothing would come from it. That on the first
You
meeting,
made a presumption that nothing would come from the third.
nothing came from the first meeting, nothing came from the second.
Glendora, by us adopting this statement,
Let me just get something, and Glendora, you know that this is factual. I'm not familiar with the contract itself, but there's a difference in the equipment that's used. Isn't there a problem with this editing, where they have a different size equipment of some kind?
No, there's no problem at all.
That is not a problem?
This is what an obstacle that they're trying to make you think is a problem. It is not a problem at all.
Okay.
What problem is there to set up a machine in 5 minutes?
Okay.
Equipment they
Wait
already
a minute, I
have.
was there at the meeting, so I know what we talked
Of
about.
equipment that they already have and that I do all my own editing anyhow. So what problem is that? This is just an obstacle they're trying to make you think it's a problem.
And
Glendora, what weight is this gonna carry?
Can we pass?
What's
can
on
we-
the pass it, but I don't know.
No, but can this board go on in favor of?
I would be a representative.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
the
if we have the new laws with the cable company, I don't know what powers we have.
Martha,
Then we can telephone them.
Mr. Schreier, this issue may end up being legal. I was hoping it wouldn't, but, before we take any action. I know it's not fair to ask you this evening because you're not familiar with the franchise agreement, but do you think we as a board have the right to resolve that they immediately reinstate Glendora's use of the equipment as it were on the date stated? In other words, she wants to revert back to doing work the way she used to do before this personal dispute took place, and we don't even want to get into that this evening. That's really an issue we should put aside because, it's been beat to death. Can we just, by resolution,
I don't think you can unilaterally do it. I think what you can claim, if you wish, is that the cable company is in violation of the contract.
Well,
by
that's
not
where the
allowing
legal
her-
aspect is gonna come in on.
That by not allowing her to do that, but at this point, I don't think you can make that determination without hearing both sides.
Mr. Supervisor, you met with Ms. Zimmer, is it? Zimmer? Are you convinced that this issue cannot be resolved amicably without us?
No, I'm not. As a matter of fact,
What does it take to resolve it with this gentleman?
I think it takes a little give on both sides.
I have a question for Glendora. What's
way to resolve it.
Why are they opposing you so much? What is the reason?
Because they were wrong about what they did, and this is a cover-up.
So would it be better for them to say, well, okay, now, the board spoke last week, we're all behind you, we're all in your favor, we're all wanting to continue your program. We want the TV to cooperate with you. And have you spoken at all since the last meeting? Have you spoken to Mr. Zimmer?
say that there had to be an understanding.
No, he didn't. He didn't call me back and say we can go back to editing, and that's what he should have done. He called and stalled again, and says we got to go to another meeting. And another meeting is just going to be like the first two meetings. I said I don't see the necessity for a third meeting.
Well, would you be willing to have a third meeting so we can resolve this?
No, what I want Mr. Zimmer to do is to resume the editing.
I'm running the meeting, Glendora. You please.
Pat, I wasn't
I will
pleased with the way you ran the meeting the last
I
time.
know you weren't.
I didn't get my say.
And you didn't get your way.
I didn't get my say.
Or your way. Now, look, let's hold on. Are you opposed to another meeting in my office?
Yes, I am. It got nowhere, and you saw what
I
happened.
tried.
Pat, I told you to try it, and I thanked you. But where did it get? He gave his word that he would do it, and then he went back on his word. And I thought it was settled last town board meeting, and it wasn't. So what's a third meeting going to accomplish?
I don't know, but maybe something will come out of it. Why are you
I
opposed to a
don't
third
think
meeting?
a third meeting is necessary. I think what is necessary now is for Mr. Zimmer to face the wrong that they did and to resume the editing.
Mr. Zimmer, I'm not sure that we have that personal issue, because obviously it's deep, it's rooted, and it's long-lasting, and the longer they last, the worse it gets. So that's why I would like to know if we can just... Glendora is a public service. She provides a service on cable. We want to encourage public use of cable. There's a problem. Glendora is not allowed to use the facilities the way she used to. She comes before us and asks our help in getting her to use the facilities. Can we, when we went into this cable franchise, obviously the public use of facilities was a very important element of it. We discussed it at length. She's been prohibited from using the facilities at 4 to 6 p.m. on Fridays the way she did for a long, long time, for years. We don't know who said what to whom, and it can't be resolved amicably, evidently. Can we not tell the manager that we expect this citizen of our community to use the facilities the way she used to use the facilities?
I heard the management indicating that it sounded like a personal kind of problem, and not necessarily one of what is right or wrong under the contract. I heard from one side that one side was abusive and the other side was...
How do you solve personal disputes?
Well, I don't think you solve them by just ramming somebody down somebody else's
but months have
throat.
gone by, and she's been the loser here. And she's doing community service. She's not able to perform.
Again, until you get to the facts as to who may be wrong, I can't give you a legal
You may
opinion.
not be able to resolve it.
Basically, if somebody comes in and does what they're supposed to do and there is no problem with it, then the cable company is wrong.
Well, that's
If
what
on
she
the
wants
other
to do.
hand, that person comes in and is abusive and disruptive, then it may not be
That's
okay.
behind us. Glendora is saying to us she's willing and wanting and desiring to go back to work under very appropriate standards the way she used to. We can't settle this personal dispute. You understand the
Charlie,
problem?
you don't know the background, be careful.
No, but I'm saying, you've had a meeting, and evidently you thought you settled it, and it wasn't settled. We had Glendora here before us 2 weeks ago. We asked Mr. Zimmer to please kiss and make up, as I recall saying, thinking stupidly,
Glendora
that
would
people
kiss?
would kiss and make up. Well, obviously it didn't happen.
Glendora, would you kiss
We
him
want to
now?
get Glendora back to work.
Seriously, Glendora, would you talk to Mr. Zimmer and try and get this thing resolved?
If Mr.
You know,
Zimmer,
if one phone call could resolve it, I mean, that's all it takes.
phone call from whom?
Possibly from you to Mr. Zimmer. Would that matter? As
As
long as you get your editing done when you want it.
But Mr. Zimmer called me last
No,
week,
all I know-
and he didn't offer to go back to the editing. He just wanted another meeting.
But he agreed to do the editing at the last meeting.
Yeah, right, and he agreed to do it in Pat's office too, the meeting before.
And so far,
He hasn't
he's
done
been
it.
there twice.
Did you go there last Friday to edit?
No,
You did not go last Friday. When was the last time that you went down to the studio?
February the 3rd.
And what happened?
That's when that's when I was abused. That's when the equipment wasn't ready, it wasn't available, it was hooked up wrong. And Matt went back on his word about cleaning up the program, and then that's when he harassed me for 28 minutes.
Mr. Supervisor, I think we should go on record as being support of Glendora in her request that she be permitted to use the studio at 2 hours on a Friday. And I think that we can't order him to do it, but we can certainly make a motion that we are simply with her because she is a public servant, does do public service for the public, does put on a program which the public seems to like, and that we are in support and
refuses,
Then
what
we
good is
have-
that motion then?
then we
I'm
have
gonna
to,
know if he refuses, if we
then
don't
we
do something,
then we have to
every
refer
Wednesday night, discuss it.
to contract for to see whether or not there is a legal right that she has to use the studio. I believe there is a legal right. That was part of the contract.
Probably is.
That the public had a right to use the studio. That's how, given the offers that we are in support,
End up in your office.
and
Well,
then going forward.
I don't think it really becomes a legal question. I think there's a clear right to public access and the public channel and all of that. The question is whether that right is abused on one side or the other side. And that's really what it boils down to. Now, if the company is abusing her, they're wrong. And then there's a legal right. If she's abusing the company, she's wrong. And there's a legal right.
It's behind
But
us.
right now, apparently, from what I heard from the last meeting, they were saying they were willing to do it. Now, I don't know if anything happened since that last meeting.
We did call these, she said.
Well, he only called after I called Norma and told her I hadn't heard from anybody, and Norma called him, and then he called me. And then instead of saying it's all over, you can come back on Friday, he said, let's have another meeting. Now,
Well,
certainly,
maybe he just wants to set some ground rules, but it seemed to me at the last meeting, he was more receptive to doing it than adverse to doing it.
he was very receptive to doing it in Pat Angarano's office.
Well, I think
It
it
was all settled
may
then.
be worth another try.
Glendora, after Pat Engel's meeting, did you go back to the studio?
No,
Oh, you didn't go back?
no, he was supposed to sign the letter that we wrote down in Pat's office, the very words that he would accept. I said, Pat says, Glendora, you write this letter. And so I started writing the letter, and I said it in the very words that he would accept. And he was supposed to sign it and send it back to me, and that never happened.
Did he send you another letter of any kind?
Terrible letter, yes.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
You have a copy of that letter?
Yes, I gave it to you last board meeting.
The second letter?
Pages 50 and 51, 52 and 3, I think.
Is that what your diary is on this, 50 and 51? Is that
Yes,
where
it
we
is,
are now?
Pat.
Glendora, may I ask you a question? I really hope that we never see you again in this format here. You know, we can see you on television, but really, we want to get this over.
Oh, no,
You are willing to go back and use the facilities the way you used to before this so-called quote issue took place. Is that your understanding?
Not only willing, that's what I desired.
Okay. Then I think we should be willing to communicate that to Mr. Zimmer, that Glendora is prepared to go back and use the facilities before the incident took place. And therefore ask him, or request of him, that she be allowed to begin this Friday at 4 p.m. to use the facilities the way she heretofore used to use them. Can't we ask Mr. Zimmer, or request of Mr. Zimmer that that be done?
Well, the whole discussion started because I requested it.
But he didn't do it.
He did come to the meeting. He was in on the meeting. He was at the meeting. He was in our meeting.
Yeah, but he didn't
That
let
was
her
at my
use the
request.
facilities.
Didn't I set that up?
Of course you did. And
It
thank
was
you.
at the town board meeting at my
Thank
request
you
2
for
weeks
doing
ago.
it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be very happy to make the phone call. I'd be very happy to have him come in.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion that this board support Glendora's request that she be permitted to use the studio on Friday from 4 to 6, as she has in the past, and that the board is completely behind her in our support, and that if he cannot give her this time, that we will, at that time, unleash our attorneys on him.
I didn't know we were leashed.
They're going to look for a legal solution.
No, but you should be sometimes.
They're going to look for a legal solution.
I think, I mean, as far as credit with the unleashing of attorneys, what certainly.
Why don't we just,
Let me call Mike again, Mike Zimmer, who is the manager, I guess his title is. And Glendora, you know, it's a give and take proposition, we both know that.
Well, what do you think I'm not giving?
I'm not gonna get into details, I'm telling you that both sides have taken a hard position. And the only way it's gonna be solved is if somebody on each of the sides gives a little bit.
Well, I like what Mr.
Well,
Sino
I
said.
knew you would.
Yeah. I like that.
I support what Mr. Zeno said, if it would help get the issue addressed and resolved. If that's what's necessary, I would second the motion. My only interest, Pat, is for you to get Mr. Zimmer on the phone and to say, look, Glendora's agreed to come back and put bygones behind us. let her use the facilities this Friday. And forget what took place, because if we get into that discussion, it's never gonna be resolved. Forget it, don't even discuss it. We weren't there, we don't know what took place.
I will take the direction of the board, but by the same token, you have to be fair to, in this case, a vendor.
No, but we don't wanna say who's right or wrong. There were no rights and wrongs on this
I'm
case.
saying they're both wrong and they're both right.
Okay, so therefore, don't discuss it. All we wanna do, she wants to go back as it used to be before the incident.
I think we should have the motion as a legal record.
Why, what's that gonna do? That doesn't fly.
Well, it shows that the board is completely supportive of it.
Oh, we've been in support of her ever since Glendora's been here.
And I was
that's not
supportive
the
of
issue.
it when Glendora came in for the first meeting with Mike.
She has met with the supervisor, I mean, that's support in itself. Your motion won't fly with cable commission.
We could be at this all night long. I will make the call tomorrow to the manager and urge him strongly to resolve this, permit you to be there on Friday between 4 and 6 p.m.
Possibly be a little stronger and maybe
Yeah.
we'll threaten them to call their superiors.
I really can't.
And maybe we could resolve it out in Long Island instead of here in Harrison, because that's where the home office is.
He evidently has some support from his superiors.
His superiors haven't heard the whole story, they haven't heard
Well, I'm
my
just
side.
telling you at this point, though, Glendora, he does have support from his superiors.
Superior, how can he have support when the
Mr.
superiors
Superintendent,
haven't
maybe
asked
it's something
me
we
for my
should-
side?
We should learn